Are we live?
I think we're live. So I am Surfer Dude.
And I'm Kyle.
Yes, and today we are discussing The Martian. This is going to be a spoiler cast, so if you have not seen it and do care for spoilers, tune out now. And includes you, Mr. Fuss, if you have not seen it.
I see you there.
Yeah, I think he's still there. No. Well, maybe he's not. He's busy playing Destiny, I think. Is last what he said.
Not surprising.
But yeah, so this is going to be the Martian discussion. I saw it Sunday. We're recording this on Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. I have to check sometimes. Sometimes my schedule gets a little off.
Martian time,
yeah.
Or is it the souls?
That was one thing that was kind of throwing me off a little bit in terms of the thing. But then when you like, there was a comment later on in the movie that they were talking about that was like, oh yeah, it's been that long, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is basically the movie where a team of astronauts were on Mars. They take off and then they accidentally leave one of their crew members that they think is dead, but it's really, surprise, he's alive. And then he has to survive on Mars alone with whatever is kind of around, kind of thing, until they can either send a ship to him or figure out Plan B, kind of thing.
But luckily, he's a botanist.
Yeah, the best thing to have in space, kind of thing.
Yeah, with a stack of potatoes.
Yeah, but though after seeing this movie, I kind of want, if I am stuck in that position, I hope I am a botanist, because that is kind of true. If you're like a pilot or something, you don't know how to grow food or anything. So the fact that you can grow food, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, just to keep yourself alive.
Yeah, to do that. But there's quite a bit of humor in this movie that usually, like, you know, like it's all scientific and stuff and it's kind of like, kind of thing. But this movie, it's actually has a good amount of jokes in there that's like for the general audience kind of thing, which I do like quite a bit. Like in the trailer, like, you know, I'm gonna science the shit out of this.
Yeah. The funniness comes from the science.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen like Kerbal Space Program?
No.
Okay, it's basically kind of like it's basically a game where you build rockets and you fly them into orbit, and you do like pretty much the whole kind of what they did in the movie, kind of like coordinating and like trying to match speeds and all that and such. So when they were doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, that is kind of difficult to pull that maneuver kind of thing. I mean, yeah, I'm not an expert, but I know like you don't need much to go forward, but you kind of need a lot to stop kind of
right
thing.
Especially once you're going in motion.
Yeah,
to stop that, especially how heavy their ships were and everything.
There's like a point later on where it's like, you want me to go into orbit in the convertible.
Yes.
That was
without being able to control it.
Yeah, that was like the best part. I thought it was like
the first thing that came off was the little
the tarp.
Yeah, the little tarp protecting him.
But that was like the whole thing. But I guess we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So the movie starts out basically he's alive and he's kind of like, well, I'm gonna die here, so I might as well make the best of it. Kind of go for everyone's stuff and pack it up, you know, because they're eventually gonna find my corpse held like corner kind of thing. So they have to do that kind of thing. Then after a while, he starts to think about it. You know, it's like, you know, we've been creating a bunch of waste. We could, it's nasty, but we could take that and like farm some potatoes.
Use it as fuel for the potatoes to grow.
Yeah. And then like I thought that was pretty clever, like how he made water into it, like, you know, actually mixing some chemicals that like occasionally turn into water. But
yeah, that joke hit pretty hard too.
Yeah, like it kind of blew up in his face a little bit. Just a little bit. Just like it was just like I was really happy about this overall. I mean, I liked Interstellar, I liked Gravity, but overall I kind of like this a little bit more.
This was the most believable out of the three.
Yeah, especially Interstellar.
Yeah.
That one part was like, well, kind of like, okay.
End of Interstellar, they said it was basically because love. It worked out because of love.
Yeah, somehow
that was the missing ingredient to get through time and space.
Yeah. And they obviously have no time to explain why they have no time to explain, obviously.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. I mean, Gravity, it had a few stretches here and there. I mean, it was kind of like a series of unfortunate events that all had to go the worst possible way for it to happen the way it did in that movie.
Like, what can we throw at Sandra Bullock next?
Yeah, that kind of thing. It was like how one thing after another, which I was kind of feeling that in this movie too. It's like, okay, you gotta kind of give this guy a break. He's kind of, something has to go right, and then every so often something does go right, kind of thing. And
it's like give or take, like a couple things he figures out, but then he gets thrown back for a certain thing.
Yeah, like he blows up his greenhouse.
Oh my gosh, like a rock or something flew into the thing, and
I don't know if it was a rock or if it was just like equipment failure for so much use. Like I don't think it was designed to last that long.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Speaking of how long it, towards like at one point in the movie when he leaves his camp and drives to the next site to use like basically at NASA, like they send stuff ahead of time, so they send like a rocket ahead of time, but not all the fuel, I think. So he's driving like across the planet, which is like takes a very long time to do, especially in a buggy that runs on solar power that can only go so long.
Yeah, they said like 4 hours, and then he had to charge it for the rest of the day.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it was 4 hours or not. I don't remember that, but I just remember that whole thing was a year just driving nonstop. But then that he was at like Seoul, like they keep count of like how many Seoul days. Like he started on Seoul 19, and by the end of it, I think it was like Seoul 500.
Yeah, it was in the 500s.
Yeah, for sure, like 550 maybe somewhere in there. But like I think that whole trek was like 400 souls or something. So he's already been on there for a good couple of years, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and I know like just being alone for that period of time is like daunting. I mean, he has like some communication that he's kind of duct taped together is what I call it.
Yeah.
Like he had to get like like the old Mars rover from like the 60s or something and try to make that work to communicate and such.
It's like Wilson from Castaway. Like,
yeah, but like when he finally like was talking to the crew towards the end, I thought there would be a little bit more emotion, like holy crap, I can actually hear you, another human being or something, that kind of thing. Though we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but in the beginning when he's taking out the shrapnel, that was like the most realistic acting I've ever seen. Like that was like really good acting because you don't want to operate on yourself at all. No. It's not fun, even if you're drugged up, but even if you are drugged up, that impairs your vision and such, so that makes it even harder, and probably you make more mistakes and it hurts more.
Looked like they either did like good makeup and stuff, but like his face got all flushed and
yeah, that's really simple, but I'm really good at I know a little bit about the props and stuff, so I think that what they did is something similar they did with the Iron Man when he was like taking out the magnet in his chest. Basically like that in Iron Man they had like Robert Downey Jr. lay down, and then like there was like a fake torso laying in bed, but Iron Man was, is it Tobey Maguire?
No, it's
I'm doing something. Well, Tony Stark.
Yeah, Tony Stark.
He was like standing up straight, or he was like under the table kind of thing. So that's how they did it. It's like so when she's reaching inside like a fake dummy kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's all done in the editing room.
Yeah, they took out some stuff, but you can like get away with quite a bit. But like you could tell with this, like every close-up shot was a dummy, and every so often like they would have like something else like similar to what they did. It was just like it was an extra layer kind of on him kind of thing, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, they made that really intense. It really set up the struggle part of the movie. It's just doing self-operation.
Yeah.
There was also a self-operation in another Ridley Scott movie, Prometheus.
I have not seen that one.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but there was self-operation there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of that clip. Yeah, that's been plastered around. I know I heard enough complaining from that movie and seen enough clips to kind of figure out what happened kind of thing. I'm like, it's a movie.
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's but at least that was a robot. This time he had to do it himself, kind of thing, which is another thing. There was like another movie that someone had to do that recently. I can't remember what it was, but it was something similar, but yeah, what was your kind of favorite moment of everything?
Favorite moment was when they're all they're on Earth, but Daniel Glover's character, the guy that came up with the idea to slingshot around Earth.
Oh, when he's like he's using like the director.
Yeah. And he uses the stapler and everything, and I thought that was really funny, and it really it got all the characters in one room, which kind of worked really well.
Yeah. For me, there's so many like humorous moments for me. It's kind of a tie. There's something really funny when they're kind of like the guy in Japan. Well, there's a few times that I laughed at the Japan guy. I can't remember his name. Shambin. Do you know what was his name? Chris. Right. Anyway, I know, best commentary ever. Tower. I don't know.
What was his job?
He was like the head of JPL. He was like in charge of the department over there making the rockets and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember his name for the life of me, but there was like, like he got the phone call and he's like, I need to change my shorts now.
Yeah.
When they like upped the time to like 3 times.
Yeah, they kept taking it away from him.
Yeah, he's like, but then there's like also the time when he's like, it's like, okay, so we got to take out this and this and this, and then we got to take off the whole nose cone thing. And the guy, what? I just did this, but I think it was Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, Jeff Daniels.
He was like the head.
He's head of NASA.
He was head of NASA. I thought no, there was like a.
The Vincent guy was the head of the Mars missions.
Was it Vincent?
Jeff Daniels was like the face of the whole thing. Like he had to make all the final decisions.
Rick Martinez was in charge of the mission, I think. That guy.
Oh no, he was just the driver.
He was the driver. Never mind. We're looking at IMDb because we're terrible at names.
Yeah.
Sean B. No. Anyway. Yeah, I'll just go with it. But there was like he was like kind of like, do you want to hear more? And he's like, no.
Yeah, just leave it at that.
Yeah, but there was like several other times when like back on Mars when Mark Watney was like doing something and it's like you were holding your breath the whole time and then it's like nothing happened. You're like, oh, and then you're like realized it was that suspenseful that you were freaking out over that kind of movie kind of thing. I think this is definitely going to be like a movie that people refer back to, kind of like what's like one of those old war movies that Tom Hanks is in.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that one, or like several other sci-fi movies. Apollo 13, I think, is another good one that people refer back to. I think this is gonna be another one that's in there.
It might like kick us in the butt to try to do more to get to Mars faster. I
don't know about that. I mean, yeah, I think it's good, but I'm not going to Mars.
Right.
I think one is out of our lifetime. 2, it's a one-way ticket. I mean, I know there's like a few funding trips or something that turned out to be scams or something.
Yeah, the crowdfunding thing.
Yeah, that's basically like, it's a one-way ticket though, because like if you calculate it, it's like 40 years just to get there or something.
Yeah, that's the rate we have right now.
Yeah, we got to figure out something faster.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's like a whole nother discussion right there. I'm not that scientific myself to discuss that kind of thing. Overall, I mean, this is like let's give like kind of like a scoring. This isn't a review. This is a discussion, but this is a rating just to say this is how much I liked it, kind of thing. So would you like to go first? Out of 1 to 10, no house.
1 to 10, I'd say I'd give it an 8.
An 8?
The one thing that kind of bothered me was just towards the end when I felt like it was forced when they just had all the crowds of people on each city. Like,
yeah, well, I don't know. I can see that story leaking out and everyone kind of interested. But yeah, I don't think that amount of people would get interested. And then also towards the end, like, yeah, he goes Iron Man. That was a bit of a stretch, but I'm like, okay, they got everything right so far. I'm gonna give it to him.
And that was kind of like, I felt like Gravity kind of thing, like when they're just floating and she was in the little chair.
Yeah. I mean, I know you have to do some cheating to continue to plot, but you know, like, I don't know.
I felt like they had a hard time, like, kind of doing the last part of it.
Yeah, I think if like you did that in real life, it would just go.
Yeah, there's so many things that could go wrong, and yeah, it was. I mean, I kind of judged it based on Interstellar.
Yeah,
and I feel like I liked Interstellar a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I'd give it an 8. But if we were doing halves, I'd give it 8.5.
Okay. For me, like I don't know. I liked it overall, and I kind of liked it a little bit more than Interstellar and other movies. I mean, I know we're not comparing it to it, but I just liked it a little bit more, kind of thing. So I guess I am kind of between an 8 and a 9 myself, so I guess I would also have to give it an 8. I mean, I personally recommend it to anyone that had a chance.
If you give it a 9, then our average will be 8.5.
Okay, fine. I'll give it a 9. But yeah, what setting or which option did you see? Did you see in 3D, IMAX?
I saw it regular.
2D?
2D, not in IMAX.
Okay. Well, I think IMAX is always 3D, but
yeah,
it's like special 3D kind of thing. I saw it 3D non-IMAX kind of thing. I read some reviews about it, the whole 3D thing. Basically, the 3D where it comes in handy is when the giant sweeping shots and stuff, which is another thing that they got pretty right with that. That was pretty amazing how well it looked like Mars kind of thing.
How did the shot look like when he was just got launched himself into space and the little screws were bouncing off? Did they have like the screws jump out at you or anything like that?
A little. I mean, it was a 3D dialect, which is more depth in the feeling instead of like, ooh, I'm pointing out to the screen. I'm in your face kind of thing. And it's like, I prefer the other way kind of thing. I mean, I know a lot of people don't prefer that, but it's just like, it's a little bit subtle thing that just adds a little bit more to it. I mean, I knew I was going to like this movie no matter what, but the timing was just not right with the 2D. So it was like, if I had the option, I would just go 2D. But if you're willing to spend a few extra dollars, you won't go away unhappy.
Yeah. And you don't get nauseous.
Yeah, I didn't get nauseous. There was only like 1 or 2 scenes that I could see getting nauseous, like the ending and like a few other places, but otherwise it's just like, yeah. Yeah,
because there wasn't that many like real heavy action parts. Like,
not really. Not until like the end.
Yeah, so I feel like it would be like a 3D that's less visually like could get you nauseous or anything.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's about it for our time here. So I am Super Dude.
I'm Kyle.
This has been our movie discussion of The Martian. It's up in theaters right now. You should go check it out.
Yeah, I definitely recommend seeing it in theaters.
Yes, that's one of the, I definitely recommend it in theaters. I guess you can see it on Netflix and stuff too, but if you had the option, I would definitely check it out in theaters. But be sure to subscribe to us on our social media links and our such, because we're going to be doing more movie and TV discussions too, along with more video game discussions and such. They're not reviews, they're more just like, this is what we think kind of thing, so that kind of thing. So make sure to just subscribe so you can find out when those come out. So see ya.
Bye.